Hi, my name is Sam Shapiro, and I'm here to describe the situation with the poisoning that occurred recently in Connecticut. And this is 2012 in October. There were some people coming from another country that went to this country and were looking at a mushroom that they believed to be edible. Unfortunately, turned out to be deadly. Amanita bisporagula may have been the culprit. That is a destroying angel type mushroom, and it looks similar to this one in some capacities, but it's not identical. I'll show you some differences. Okay, I had already taken this apart somewhat, but here's the situation. You can see this one. This one is, first of all, this is an edible mushroom, and here are some differences between this and what they found. And as you'll see, they're quite distinguishable. The bottom of this has, see how it has this dirty quality and then these little threads hanging out, strands here. Well, the mushroom they found has a sac, a white sac on the bottom, and that white sac of course differs from this, which is just simply the bottom of the mushroom is as you see. You have to dig it out to make sure, but even if you take one out that had a sac and don't get the sac because you didn't dig it, all you'll see would be something like this, but without the dirty quality around it. And I don't know if you can see here, but there's a slightly kind of cottony quality. That's called Mycelium. Okay, that's not on the one they found in this part. It would be, if anywhere, around the sac. The next thing is, this kind has a ball and socket type quality between the stipe and the pileus. And here's how it works. This can easily pop off, and as you can see, it's just like a ball and socket. The kind they found, if you try to just take it off like that, it won't come off easily. It'll more tear. I can't think of any mushroom off the top of my head that is as white as this, that has the same ball and socket quality, and the base that I just described, which is deadly poisonous. So what happens is people come from another country where in their area they may have something like this and none of what you just heard about that poisoned them, that could have killed them. And so that's unfortunate, because you see they grew up in an area where there's just basically one style of mushroom that they get used to seeing that is completely edible, and then they come here where we have something else that is deadly, which has some similarities, but it's not the same. Furthermore, the one they got is much purer white than this one, which has some light brownish tones. And when you cook up this one, it will darken a little bit. I'm 99% sure about that. I'll cook it and find out for sure later, but theirs does not darken when you cook it, aside from obviously if you brown it. But no, I think it's a chemical reaction probably that would cause the darkening I'm referring to. So that's the gist of it. The ring is different too. You see this ring, it's called an annulus. These annulus on this edible mushroom, it's sort of a small little annulus here. The one on the deadly mushroom, the amanita, that they ate, it's sort of a skirt-like veil, kind of fluffs out more. It's different. It's just not the same. And the toxicologist went on and said, no one should eat any mushrooms that are growing outside. You know, only get supermarket ones is the idea he had. I think if someone isn't sure of what they're doing, that's a great idea. Don't ever eat anything you're not sure about. Actually, that's probably the best statement there. Just don't eat anything you're not sure about. The fact, though, is people have been eating wild mushrooms without incident in many nations for many generations. Hey, we can find wild mushrooms in ancient, you know, prehistory times. What was it? I think that they found, if you can Google this, of course, but they found some people, Ice Age time, something to that effect, where a wild mushroom was found with the person. So people have been doing this safely without incident for many generations, and in many countries throughout the world. The biggest issue, or I think there are two big issues that cause deadly mushroom poisonings. first is leaving one area of the world and going to another and making assumptions that the other area of the world is the same as where you're coming from. That doesn't work. The second is deciding I'm just going to eat things when I'm not sure about it. And that could occur because a person is, they have some kind of mental disorder perhaps, that's a possibility. They could be on a medication that causes confusion. There are a lot of medications that do that, including certain broad-spectrum antibiotics can cause confusion in the general population and much more likely even the elderly.